I'm from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ken Godler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Rugby, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in National Light Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inaya Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate. This is FBC News. Tonight, global carbon emission plans worry Pacific aviation ministers. Changes in selection criteria for seasonal workers program. And police hunt for hit-and-run driver. Fiji is leading a Pacific campaign to change the system used to measure carbon emissions by the International Civil Aviation Organization. Line ministers from the region are meeting in Nandi to decide on a common position which will be put forward at an upcoming meeting of the ICAO.
These ministers have to come up with a proposal for reducing carbon emissions which don't prejudice the Pacific against larger nations.
We must, of course, we believe, take a holistic approach, as we discussed in Singapore, which needs to take into account the total carbon emission footprint of a country, not just from the particular industry, which in this case is the aviation sector.
Great pleasure. Fiji and the Pacific propose a review of the indicators used for the global market-based measures, which will decide carbon emission rates for each member state. Under the current system, which the International Civil Aviation Organization intends to adopt, a nation's carbon footprint would be judged purely by air traffic.
The Pacific Island countries have got one of the lowest carbon emission footprint in the world, negligible almost. In Fiji's case, it's 0.004% of the total carbon emission footprint. But if you take the indicators, what is currently being proposed, we have a much larger carbon footprint than Australia, which, as you know, in the overall carbon emission footprint in the world, Australia is one of the highest.
Civil Aviation Minister Aya Sayed Kayum says this issue needs to be raised seriously at the ICAO meeting in Montreal, Canada. He adds the Pacific is the lowest carbon emitter in the world, but is at the forefront of adverse climate conditions and spends millions of dollars on adaptation. Sayed Kayum says if the Pacific is tagged as high carbon emitters based on air traffic, it would be double punishment for the region. Edwin Nunn, FBC News.
The Ministry of Employment has changed its recruitment criteria for the seasonal workers program for Australia and New Zealand. According to the Minister, Semi Kuroi-Lavisau, they will now recruit Fijians from villages in rural isolated communities. Maggie Boyle with the story.
The seasonal workers program has been re-engineered to ensure it meets its purpose of driving economic activity in rural and remote areas.
We are actually using the social structure of the villages and settlements, and we'll pick people from there to go on.
The current work-ready pool will still be used. Groupings via takinas will be stressed. However, the final recruitment will depend on the employers.
The employers will come and do the final interview, and if they are happy with the people in the ready pool, either 4 to 10, then they will take them as they decide. We do not actually decide which people that should go for an employer.
Taking to the streets, some think the new changes are a good idea.
I'm thinking it's a good thinking because a lot of young age that they left school, so at least they have chance.
Those in the village, they really in need, but those in the urban area in town, they have everything here.
Due to being like villages, mostly they get isolated in the ideas and the motive doesn't reach to the people into the interior.
Other changes include the increased body mass index, which goes from 29 to 33. The minister added that given the cold conditions in the host countries, a little bit more muscle is needed. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Nandi police are investigating a fatal case of hit and run on the Nandi back road early this morning. The victim, a woman aged between 20 to 30, was found wearing a pair of long black tight trousers with blue t-shirt and a grey cardigan tied around her waist. The body has been taken to the Nandi mortuary and police are asking the public to help identify her. Anyone suddenly missing a loved one is requested to contact the Nandi police station. A post-mortem will be arranged once the body is positively identified. In another incident, an 11-month-old baby drowned in a bucket of water in Nambekavu, Lambasa yesterday. His body was found by his father, who had just returned home. Attempts by the father to revive his son proved futile. The baby's mother is believed to have been in the house when the child drowned. A post-mortem is expected soon. Cancer is the third main killer in the country, and today the Ministry for Health and Medical Services urged more be done to defeat the disease. While signing the World Cancer Declaration today, Minister Choneo Somate says the Health Ministry will show commitment and partnership in the global fight against cancer. Sainiani Boiler reports.
The Cancer Declaration calls upon government leaders and health policy makers to help fight against cancer.
Today is a significant day as we continue to show our support and commitment to effectively reduce the burden of cancer, as it remains the third leading cause of death in Fiji, so one of the highest causes of death in Fiji.
WOW's chairperson, Luisa Tangidakimbau, says it's a milestone achievement because it reinforces the current partnership and collaborations.
It presents an opportunity for all of us to add value to the partnership that exists. We're all providing different services. We all have different strengths, and we're all in this together.
WOW's Kids Fiji primarily focuses on providing services and support to children with cancer and other life-threatening diseases. Osamate pleads to all Fijians to get screened early because early detection can help early prevention. He adds we can also work together to reduce the percentage of this killer disease. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
For many years, the villagers of Solevu on Malolo Island have borne the full brunt of nature's battering when it comes to contending with droughts. But that will now be a thing of the past after Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama commissioned a new water project. Madi Mbola Tamana with the story.
Prime Minister Rugby Bainimarama commissioning the Solevu Village Water Project, and in doing so ends a lifestyle and culture that has had to deal with the reality of water shortages on this sun-streaked island.
This project will serve 130 households on the island. And the expensive and unreliable system of water cutting. A system that frankly limited the possibilities of the people of Solevu. Without access to clean water, we can't stay healthy and hydrated throughout the day. We can't keep ourselves clean and maintain sanitary homes and schools.
Apart from this major water project, which took a little over 6 months to complete, Bainimarama says government's commitment to ending water woes will continue.
In the coming fiscal year, Water Authority of Fiji has been allocated just over $300 million. And that allocation sets Fiji up for a secure water future with a vast majority dedicated to capital projects, including the constructions of new water sources and treatment plants, and the expansion of water distribution systems all over Fiji.
For the villagers of Solevu, the memorable day will forever be etched in its history books.
It's one of the happiest days of my life, and we have been looking forward to this day for a long time.
Today we are happy, even for us women and villagers of Solevu, that for the first time we will get proper drinking water.
As the weatherman signals a prolonged dry spell in the coming months, for the people of Solevu village, one thing is certain: waiting for water barges that are cutting water to their region will only but be a distant memory. Madhiyum Boletamana, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, another village declares zero tolerance on domestic violence. And FNU Open Day attracts huge crowds. Stay with us.
la chakuru wano no te luto na wano bakambul de warno wale na bul FM oro kachi sala belawa e musindon total tena wale na bingora na bul FM baltendo totoga bauti na lenru do tara so na bi sereso me bauti na tu na binga lili ena lo moni burobo
Limbula oyo na rango Luisa Marau o maramani komo o baka stolchingo na Suba Handicraft Center ondo warorongo na Bula FM number 2 na seri
Bula FM number 2 na seri.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Navatukia village in Naitasiri is the latest to commit to the Zero Tolerance Violence-Free Community campaign. The declaration was also attended by an Indonesian delegation led by Minister of Women's Empowerment, Professor Dr. Johanna Susanna Yembis. Shireen Shivan reports.
Navatukia village is located in the interior of Naitasiri and has embarked on a new initiative to build a peaceful and prosperous community.
We want Fiji to be a better place tomorrow than it was yesterday. 64% can come down, believe me, if you and I and all of us work together and say, no, we're not going to have violence in our homes. Any form of violence, threatening, beating.
The community has undergone 10 awareness programs in preparation for the pledge to protect women and children from all forms of violence and abuse. A billboard in front of the village reads, Navatukia village declared violence-free community, a constant reminder of the commitment made by all residents.
The bruises, teeth broken, may be fixed. You'll agree with me, eh? Women lose lives, families break up, children get separated from their parents. They grow up without their parents, looked after by guardians. Do we want that for our children? I'm sure you will say no.
There are 30 women in the village who make handicrafts and attend to domestic duties. Women have also been made aware of their rights and laws such as the Domestic Violence Decree. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
Major women's projects, child welfare institutions and vocational training centres were on the list of field visits for Indonesia's Prime Minister for Women and Children, Dr. Johanna Yembis. She completed her 3-day visit yesterday with high expectations that the bilateral relationship between the two countries has strengthened. Akusita Tale reports the visit has opened a new gateway for the empowerment of women and children.
It was a short but busy visit for Dr. Johanna Yembis. She attended the Fiji Women's Business Forum on Monday before visiting the National Center for Small and Micro Enterprises Development Office in Suva on Tuesday to learn more about Fiji's National Child Helpline services.
Stay close together. I mean, we have the children, our children, the women, we have to save them. So please, they have to be concerned of the women and please save them. Don't beat them. They have to respect them and love them because I think save one woman, save the nation.
Dr. Yembis witnessed the declaration of Navatukia village as a violence-free community before visiting Queen Victoria School adopted by the Indonesian government. She later accompanied our Minister for Women, Rosie Akbar, to Ngoma Island to discuss potential development projects for the community.
I would really like to have a women exchange program where I would like to invite the women from Indonesia to come here. They learn, we need people contact. So I want the ladies from Papua together with other ladies from other provinces to come here. And then one day the Fijian also can go and visit Papua and visit other places.
The visit allowed interactive discussion and exchange information for the mutual benefit of both countries. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Students from around 40 schools in the Central Division turned up for the Fiji National University Open Day at the Koronivia and Samambula campuses today. They were there to see what the institution has to offer in tertiary education. Kelly Vadala reports.
With the Open Day theme, Investing in Your Future at FNU, hundreds of secondary school students today flocked the campuses around Suva and Nosori to consider career opportunities. Minister for Agriculture Inia Seriratu says the government supports a holistic approach to education and helps to create a knowledge-based society.
government is sponsoring 50 scholarships each year to support a 24 months Certificate 3 in Commercial Agriculture program at the Fiji National University that trains students in various agricultural disciplines to stimulate commercial agriculture in the country.
For many students, the Open Day provided them with ideas on what career path they hope to choose.
I'm in year 15 and it's a really tough level for me as I have to choose my career path for next year and also for my future.
Take a look at some of the career path that I can involve to when I passed my Form 7. Well, coming from this Open Day is that I wanted to know more about veterinarian because I wanted to become a veterinarian, knowing more about animals.
With the Open Day today, the university also celebrated World Veterinary Day, where a new lab was being opened. Minister Seriratu says many countries experience several disease outbreaks, which is a great threat to human lives. Society expectations of vet profession, therefore, have been rapidly changing. Kelly Vavala, FBC News.
And overseas news, a Trump employee is now taking the blame for Melania Trump's speech that many say was partially plagiarized from Michelle Obama. Sports now, here's Jamie with all the very latest.
Vinaka Jackie and good evening. Coming up in sports, William Mata secures overseas contract. And head of state announces additional incentives for Team Fiji. Details after the break.
I'm Dori from Nasinu Market. My choice is simple, Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Yvonne. I'm from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Sayandra, my name is Sunny. Only the Gold FM at Golden Point Resort, Raki Raki.
Hi, I'm Anna of Nasinu. When it comes to a radio, my choice is always Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Anna and I'm from Nandi. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Another member of the Fiji Sevens Olympic squad has been contracted overseas. 25-year-old William Mata will be heading to Scotland after the Olympics. Vasnil Prasad with the details.
For many of the rugby fans, the inclusion of Fiji Sevens forward William Mata in the final 12 came as a surprise. But his hard work has paid him well, sealing a deal with Scotland Pro 12 club Edinburgh.
Bill has sacrificed a lot. You know, he's managed to get an overseas contract after the Olympic Games as well, which is fantastic, and we helped him with that.
The 25-year-old was not a prominent player for the team and was dropped last season due to injuries received in the last legs of the Sevens World Series. But now Ryan says he has made a vast improvement and deserved a call to represent the nation.
He broke his yo-yo record on Tuesday, and we were doing speed testing yesterday, and he was flying. I mean, he's a tremendous athlete that's always been picked in my teams when he's been fit, and he's just suffered one or two niggling injuries all the time.
The former Ratu Kandavulevu school student says it's a dream come true for him to be part of the team to Rio.
I want to thank the Lord for this grateful opportunity, so that I can be a member of the 12-member squad going to Rio.
Mata says it was not an easy journey making the cut into the final team.
Before the selection there was 12 forwards, 10 forwards, so everybody was fighting just for the 5th spot.
This year's Olympic Games could be the last time the Nakelo Tailevu native will don a Sevens jersey. With mind focused on the Olympic gold medal, the future of the player known as Big Bill also looks bright. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
President retired Major General Chiochi Konrote delivered words of encouragement during Team Fiji's Itatau this morning. Konrote has asked the athletes and officials to perform to their best next month and promises that if they come out on top, there will be something extra to come home to. Vasnil Prasad reports.
Carrying the hopes of a nation, Team Fiji today presented its Itatau to the President with a commitment that the contingent will put everything on the line for national pride. The head of the state has also announced an additional incentive, one of the highest national awards for any athlete who wins a medal in Rio.
I'll be most happy to recognize your achievements by honoring you under the Order of Fiji, which I am the Chancellor. I have advised the College of Honor to extend the deadline for nominations until after the Olympic Games, so that as a nation we could consider and reward your achievements accordingly.
Conrote reminded them to put up a great show at the Olympics, which will be watched by the whole world.
I encourage you all to do your best in Rio and be exemplary ambassadors for our country, both on and off the field.
This is the largest team contingent Fiji will be represented in Olympics this year, and the players were overwhelmed with the message delivered by the president today.
I'm very honored, not only just representing Fiji and going to the Olympics, but also, being here and receiving the president's blessings.
It feels different over here. The word of president, it's been encouraging for the whole team Fiji.
This year there is higher hopes than in the past Olympic competitions, since Fiji looks to have a good shot at a gold medal in Brazil. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Fiji Sevens captain to the Olympics, Osea Kolinisau, says it's a unique opportunity for him to represent Fiji at the Games. In addition to leading the Sevens team, Kolinisau is overwhelmed with the opportunity to also be flag bearer at the opening of the Olympic Games next month. Kolinisau says despite all the attention he and the boys are receiving, they remain focused on the job at hand.
Opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You never go get an opportunity like this again to play in a world stage like the Olympic. It's a mecca of sports, and I'm telling the boys to cherish it and give it our best, give it all.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Sevens team will go through a training run in Benga tomorrow. Over 2,000 students from 7 districts will take part in the Crest Chicken Western Primary School Rugby Festival next month. The districts include Naita Siri, Nanraga Naposa, Nandi, Lautoka, Mba, Tavua and Vatukola. Meli Tavanga reports.
More primary school students are now showing interest in playing rugby as Primary School Rugby Festival gains momentum entering its 3rd year. With just over 20 days remaining before the 2-day tournament, Western Primary School Association President Albert Weiss says the future of primary school rugby look promising.
Fiji. The Get Into Rugby program is part of World Rugby strategy to grow the game globally in partnership with our member regions and unions. And the program is the central part of World Rugby initiative to grow rugby. As we rejoin the Olympic Games in Rio in 2016 and move towards World Rugby Cup in 2019 in Japan.
Weiss says the program is helping them take rugby to grassroots level.
The aim of the program that we are introducing in Fiji is to encourage players of all ages to try and play and stay in rugby.
Meanwhile, for the 3rd year in a row, Goodman Fielder provided $20,000 sponsorship for the festival. The Western Primary School Rugby Festival will be held on the 12th and the 13th of next month at Prince Charles Park in Nandi. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Car Club is bracing itself for another huge turnout at the Lincoln Refrigeration quarter-mile sprints and drag wars this weekend. Close to 50 cars took part in the last race and a bigger turnout is expected this time around.
We had a very good turnout. We had about 800 plus spectators and we had about 40 plus cars that participated with about 60% from West. It was a great turnout for all of us, and the Western people always say that we do not think about them, but this time they came and they did wonders for us.
Meanwhile, attractive prizes will be up for grabs at the race, which starts at 10 a.m. on Sunday at the Nanuku Airstrip in Pacific Harbour. That's it from Sports Tonight. Business is up next.
A non-government organization working against climate change in the north has received a $41,000 grant from Sridhar Motors. Community-centered conservation, or C3 Fiji, applied for the grant to help protect endangered population of sea turtles on Kia Island and in the Motherwata province. Sridhar Motors chief executive Arvind Narayan says the initiative appealed to the company's beliefs.
This fund will allow C3 Fiji to reach out to community leaders to understand why it is necessary to protect sea turtles, where the organization will create an education program to convince locals to stop hunting for sea turtles and their eggs.
The grant program for Fiji has been running for 3 years. was a cloudy and cool day with occasional showers in the eastern centres today, and the winds from the south will bring yet another cold night tonight. Temperatures remained mild to cool for the eastern areas. Suva was the coolest at 25 degrees, while the rest of the country ranged from 26 to 29, leaving Lambasa the hottest at 31 degrees. Expect cool, cloudy conditions tomorrow with showers in the east. And our further outlook, we're looking ahead to Saturday, and it's continuing cool under hazy skies. At sea, southeast winds ranging up to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Fiji is leading a Pacific campaign to change the system used to measure carbon emissions by the International Civil Aviation Organization. Employment Ministry changes criteria for the seasonal workers program and will now recruit Fijians from villages in rural isolated communities. And the head of state announces additional incentive for any athlete who wins a medal in Rio. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. On to this week's poll question we are asking: is the Fiji Sevens team name for the Olympics the strongest ever? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Good night.
मैं हूँ रेहान खान कुरबो तालेबू के। जैसे फेस्टिवल एग्रेट है कुरबो में, उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है कुरबो में।
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए। मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
हम नकाशी से साइमान है, हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है।
माय नेम इज दिनेश, हम नैंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में, और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट, आई लाइक इट।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।